So we're back again on Aurora Shores. I said that we were going to stick to this map and commit to aging up our melanistic moose, and that is exactly what I intend to do. So I will say, we are picking up exactly where we left off last time. No aging has occurred, nothing like that. We're on the same age cycle as the end of the last video, and hopefully by the end of this video, we can pass at least one additional cycle. So we will be managing our caribou herds, hopefully bouncing around, checking on some other stuff, maybe looking for things that we may have missed last time, and we'll see where that leads us. Now, we don't normally shoot snowshoe hares, but this one's literally crossing the bridge right to us. It's a 1-star young, and because we don't normally shoot snowshoe hares, we've done no group managing, certainly not a herd of rabbits, I don't know what to call it, but I'm kind of guessing that's not going to be anything special, and I kind of wanted to shoot it on the road, because we never get to do that kind of thing. So that was, first of all, a heart shot. Hopefully that is a sign of good things to come. 60%er, so not ruining a future 5-star that we'd never see anyway. And I like that, setting the tone for maybe a good hunt, heart-shotting a snowshoe hare on the bridge. But as always, managing our caribou herds starts with trying to take out the lowest genetic potential male in all these herds. And we've got a 1-star adult that's uneven, and a 1-star young that's uneven. Tough to say, but just because of how uneven that is, like that is two completely different antlers, one that's kind of decent and one that's really little. I gotta think he's the weaker genetic potential of the two. Therefore, we'll send a 6.5 round his way, and we'll go and check that out. One of the most important things when it comes to managing your herds is finding those types of things when they're younger animals, not having to wait until they're 1-star mature to know whether or not you want to take them out. And in this case, a 44%er, I feel pretty confident saying that was the lowest genetic potential one. So picking out those sorts of things can really speed it up, because instead of waiting to see as he matures, gets all the way up to maybe 1-star and then we finally take him, finding those obvious asymmetries in the racks can really speed that up, because now, next age cycle, we have a 1-star young instead of a 1-star adult that is still never going to get anywhere. Now, one thing I kind of struggle with when making these types of videos is sometimes when we see the same thing kind of back to back. This is another 1-star adult, almost identical. One kind of decent antler, one really subpar antler. In order to try not to bog down the video with the same thing over and over, I'll kind of pass it up, because you'll notice the ammo count dropping, and then there's a question of where did that ammo go. So I'm just going to point it out now. If the ammo drops like 5 bullets, who knows how many between clips, it's simply just doing this. I really want to manage the caribou herds as much as possible, but I don't want to make this video 15 1-star adults and stuff like that in a row. We'll hopefully have some more interesting stuff going on than that, but in order to kind of maximize our time, a lot of these sorts of things will be being shot off camera as well. That was 40%, so actually even worse than the last. And I will say, I don't recognize that herd. I don't know where they're from or why there were only 2 bulls to begin with, but hopefully that's one that we can kind of work with. It's not terribly far from where we shot our second 5-star. I think it was this herd. That's kind of interesting. There was another one back on the other side of this hill. I think that's another one. Pretty sure that's another melanistic bull moose, which we talked about it last time. What's been so interesting is we have not had a single melanistic cow this entire time that we've been on Aurora Shores trying to age up our other mela, but now a bull shows up in a new spot. I will say, it's not in a spot that I normally think of as a high genetic area for moose, but we're gonna go over there and try to take a quick peek at him. Now, real quick, we did also pop that 1-star mature elk. Just a little bonus kill. Ended up shooting him in the head to try to speed this along. That was a 57%er. And we'll have to see, and maybe I can find the first screenshot of our melanistic bull that we've been watching. But it'll be really interesting to compare. That is, I think the one on the left there in the trees is him. So actually, they moved down to the water, which should make this a little bit easier. That's definitely melanistic. I don't think he's even. Which again, like I said, not a spot I typically consider good for moose anyway. Still want to get in close and compare. Now they are naturally being really difficult to get close to, but this at least gives us a decent look. He's definitely uneven, but even just the size difference. The screenshot I have, I believe, is when our other melanistic was a 1-star young like this guy is, and it was notably bigger, and that's one of those things that you can actually learn a lot from. Now this 2-star mature probably is safe to take out. Surprisingly, that actually dropped him. But what you can kind of do, especially when it comes to rares and stuff, where it's a little easier to keep track of antlers, seeing that difference, you can kind of know a 1-star young maybe that looks something like this one, a common one obviously, not a rare, probably is going to be a lot lower genetic potential, and one you might be able to take out a lot earlier like we've been doing with the caribou, as compared to that bigger rack that we've got on the other melanistic. So that is pretty cool though. 2 melas on the map, and I'll show you in a second after we claim this moose. They live for, I believe it's 16 years old. It's a really long time, and that means we have a whole lot of aging to do. So that guy's 65%, that is totally fine to take out. And if we jump into the encyclopedia real fast, for the Alaska moose, they live to 16 years old. Our other one is an adult now, so at least we're getting somewhere, but until that one's up to his maximum age, and let's say he's the same as the mature that was with him, 65%, should be around 3 stars. It'll be a good looking moose. We want him to get all the way there. Man, this has to be the dumbest thing I've ever done. There's no way. There's an albino bison out there. It's a 1-star young. Alright, I gotta explain why we just found that, because I'd have never known it was there. I'm prepping this video for while we're traveling for the holidays, and I wanted to come down here and get a screenshot of that melanistic moose before I would forget and not have that for a thumbnail, should we not find anything else. You already know what was in the thumbnail, I do not at this moment. I don't know where the moose are, but I saw that over there and I thought it looked kind of weird. There's an albino bison here too. Well, what the heck, I guess we'll go get a screenshot of that. And I think we also found the moose. They're just back there behind. Before they flee, we're going to get good and close. They're just getting into that fleeing state. Look at that. That is insane. So, what we've kind of done here is found 2 new rares while just attempting to manage our herds and pass time, and we've only extended the amount of time that we have to be on Aurora Shores to see all these things age. So going back to the moose antler thing, looking at this 1-star adult, he's literally smaller than our melanistic was as a 1-star young, so we know he has to be low genetic potential. For it to be a young, maybe that would be decent. In fact, I'd say that actually would be a decent young, but as an adult, he's gotta be subpar. In this area, unlike where our new melanistic is, and ironically enough, our albino bison, it has had some decent moose in the past. We haven't had any 5-stars here, but a few 3s and 4s that seem to have been closed that we've let die of old age and just hoped they would get there. Maybe taking out one like this helps future ones. So we shall see just how low genetic potential he is. He's also kind of grayer. I thought he might be a mature, so I'm guessing, yeah, 34%, really low. Good one to take out, and just kind of bounce it around as we continue to manage caribou, looking for anything kind of decent, and also trying to pass the time in the process. So as we just continue to pass time out here, we have had an age cycle occur, and we can tell because our newest melanistic moose is a little bit bigger and perhaps a bit more even, still uneven, but that's kind of encouraging. He hasn't just gone completely sideways with one big antler and one small antler. That means we have a lot of checking to do, including herds of caribou, and I think maybe we'll even start with the one out there behind our melanistic moose. That is a 1-star mature, and we have actually just spooked the moose. They could run by the caribou and spook them. I think we're going to be okay, but even at that, we'll go ahead and try to line this up with the Steyr Games. Looks like that's going to be a lethal hit. And we'll go through, we will look at our melanistic that we've actually been trying to age up. He should be now an adult for the 2nd year. We'll see how big he is, and hopefully we can stumble into something else out here that has a chance to age up. But yet another caribou down, and as we're just finding all the other rares on the map, got another melanistic moose, we've got the albino bison now. Hopefully a melanistic caribou is not going to be too far behind, and because they only live to 8, if one were to show up, like on this age cycle, we'd actually be taking that before either of our moose. And I figured we'd just make it a little bit easier by zipping down here with the UTV. So this is now still going to be obviously a 1-star adult. Looking pretty darn good. Got the palmation, got the brow tines. I've got so much hope for this to become a 5-star melanistic, and it's really why we chose Aurora Shores over the other maps that we've got some rares on. I mentioned the albino red deer on Transylvania recently on stream. We've got an albino whitetail on Nez Perce. I think we've still got several albino Cape Buffalo on Tickamoon Plains to worry about, but this guy seems to have such potential. And I like checking back on him every single time just to see where he ends up. Looking pretty darn good for now, but we've done plenty of rare gazing. We'll get back to actually hunting. You know, I intended to do a little bit more hunting here than we're going to end up doing, but there just wasn't a whole lot going on beyond things we've already kind of taken a look at. Not much important aging, as some of the 4-stars that we had on the map seem to have died, and instead, we're left with a 1-star mature caribou that we're going to go ahead and take out with the Steyr game. So, sad to say, no kind of surprise 5 stars this time, like our 5-star Roosevelt from the previous hunt, but 2 new rares, and this is, I mean, it's happened every time. This is yet another age cycle in which our main melanistic moose looks super promising. It's been significant growth with every age cycle, and now that we're really committing to Aurora Shores and putting the time in, we've passed a couple of age cycles in just a couple of days, so hopefully we can continue that, and maybe it won't be long until we actually get to take him. But one final caribou bull after a whole day of managing these things. Shot it kind of far back, but long liver got the job done at 37%. So that is no doubt going to help. And nothing to go back to the trophy lodge for, but it's super exciting to see. A couple of more rares out here, that's more stuff to really work towards. And it's good too, like, as we kind of get this going, there's only going to be more, whether it's 5 stars, hopefully some caribou start to get there, moose, there's some good stuff on the map, some up-and-comers. The more we do this, the better we have our chances at filling that trophy lodge. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video, so as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.